What should I be feeding my gray tree frogs? What size should their tank be? What's proper humidity and temperature look like? These are some of the most important questions, and in today's episode, we're going to tackle those in the Wild Vivarium show. As you guys can see, Dante still has the battle with his eye going on, with that bacterial infection. It's been a thorn in his side just as much as mine, but we have been seeing some progress as he's gained weight and he's a lot more active than what he was from the first episode that you saw him. One of the most common questions I get is, what should I be feeding my gray tree frog? See, gray tree frogs are a generalist species. They do eat a lot of flying invertebrates, they eat ants, they eat beetles, but some of the best protein you can provide for them in captivity lies with crickets and cockroaches. One of my most common explanations for how to feed frogs and toads in captivity is like having a nice dinner. You want to make sure that you have your main course and your sides. The crickets and the roaches would be characterized as the main course, the steak, the hamburger, the chicken, whatever it is, the main protein source. Then you also want to add in some sides like waxworms, mealworms, and other critters like that. But you have to make sure that you're doing it in moderation and also having it balanced. Without having a proper protein and just adding fatty stuff, your frogs have an easier time becoming obese, and you don't want that because that means a shorter lifespan usually. The gray army definitely needs hydration. Gray tree frogs love moisture, but too much can cause bacterial problems like we've seen with Dante, and not enough can be a major problem. So what I do is use a misting system to spray one time a day for about a minute. This is accomplished without any issues. I use the Exoterra Monsoon Multi, and I only use 2 nozzles, but that gets all of the tank that I need. I allow dry spots for the animals to go, so that way they're not saturated and have to sit through the misting, but the plants and the background and everything else gets just enough. I highly recommend that for any size tank that you need. Dante still isn't out of the woods yet. We still have a lot of work to do. He's scheduled to go see the vet in February, and we're optimistic that something can be done. So that way we know exactly what's wrong with his eye, and we know what we can do to make him the most comfortable and the happiest that he can be with the situation he's in. We don't think his life is in jeopardy. He's come a long way since May. However, we want to make sure that he's getting the best care possible, so it's one of the most important vet visits of Dante's life coming up. One of the most important questions that I get asked, I think it's a fantastic question, is what size tank should I have for eastern gray tree frogs and related species? I'm very unorthodox, and I'm not like a lot of the other pet YouTubers and other animal keepers that you might see on here. I tend to look at things from a field perspective first, so a little bit different than what would be recommended. I see these animals out in the wild as I'm doing conservation projects, and I see how much space that they occupy and how they prefer to have as much space as possible. So of course my answer is the biggest tank that you could possibly buy is the one that these animals will use. For example, this is a 100-gallon Exoterra 36 by 18 by 36, and the Gray Army uses it from top to bottom. They climb all over it, they use it to hunt, to hide, to bask. They do everything that a normal gray tree frog would do. It's just with the space that they're given. A smaller tank can cause a lot of problems. It increases the risk in obesity and also can cause other issues. And one of the most important places that you can go if you're searching for this information or you want to connect with me is with the Frogs and Toads Facebook group. We just acquired that with Woods and Forests Media, and now as it being an additional piece, we want to include it and invite all of you, my Woods and Forests community, to join us and connect with us and share with all of the Frog and Toad community. Another question that's very important that I get asked a lot, and it's been a conversation starter for me lately, is the water quality. As you can see Meredith hanging out in the water dishes that I provide. I actually use a reverse osmosis system for the water, both for the frogs to sit in and also for the misting system and the fogger. Now, you don't just want to use a reverse osmosis system without any additives, because reverse osmosis water is pure water devoid of any minerals. So what I like to do is add a pinch of pond salt, and I add tap water conditioner and mix all that together and allow it to sit for a little while before offering it to my animals. Believe it or not, the water actually tests as a 7 for pH, so it's neutral, and it seems to be very healthy for the animals. I've had no issues with them as of yet. I can't wait to dive deeper into Season 3 of Wild Vivariums with you guys. There's so many exciting opportunities we have, like doing product testing, product reviews, we're going to talk about care tips just like today's video, and we're going to have so much more. But we also want to make sure that we're doing this in a way that promotes the conservation and also the education of these animals. And you all know from the challenges and the battles that I've had caring for my beloved Dante that I don't take this stuff for granted. I'm very serious when it comes to care and wanting to do the best that I possibly can for my animals. Whenever I see Dante give me this look, with both of those eyes, especially the slightly damaged one, it just makes me want to be better, want to do better, and want to give him the best that I absolutely can. And we're going to do that through the Wild Vivarium show. So be sure to like and subscribe and share with your friends for more content. Thanks.